So I'm going to make my prediction for the EU final right at the eve of this tournament. A lot of things have happened in a span of a year. This video was Belgium over Netherlands. That was my final pick. That was April of 2020. As someone noted right here, a lot of things have changed since that time, like I've mentioned. Obviously, the Netherlands doesn't have a good chance of making the final right now because Van de Beek of Man United is injured. They do not have cutting edge up front of goal. And they are also without Virgil van Dijk. So a lot of things have happened in a time span of 15 months since the April of 2020 prediction. But in my original video, I still noted the Brexit theme of the Euro was that Belgium in the globalists was going to establish the supremacy of the European Union ultimately at the end of the day over the Brexit move by the British voters in their referendum to leave the European Union. Now, the day that the European Union was official, it came into effect on January the 31st of 2020. Now, this is a date of 1-31, January the 31st, which ultimately forms under 31. Now, this explains my new prediction of Belgium over England in the final for the EU meeting site of Brussels to establish the supremacy of the European Union over the Brexiteers in the loss of trade. The Red Devils has Jumanji 131 and 59. It is London, England that has Jumanji 131 and 59. Now, what is the Red Devils? The Red Devils is the nickname of Belgium. They wear red. It is the most successful domestic team. That is Manchester United in England, which are also nicknamed the Red Devils. Lukaku also played for Manchester United. So the Red Devils is very symbolic for the nickname of Belgium in the red jerseys that they wear. It is also championship that is going to be very symbolic for this Brexit campaign. The city of London has Gematria of 185. 185 days after Eden Hazard's birthday is going to be the day of the Euro final. The British exit also has Gematria 77. It is British exit in city of London that have Gematria of 62. The winner of Euro, in my opinion, is going to go 7 for 7. England entered the competition with 41 points. If they do, in fact, win 7 matches for 3 points each, that would give itself a total of 62 points. But also, England could very easily well remain at 59 points if they lose the final over at London, England. It is Gareth, interesting enough, that has the gematria of the EU. You know something interesting about the EU? 23 months from the day that Brexit came into effect to the day of the final. This is 23 weeks. Belgium entered the Euros with 23 points because they won its first match and it entered the Euro with 23 points. Gareth Southgate has gematria of 67. It's looking like England is going to go 6 for 7 with Gareth Southgate. Now, here is the big connections with Romelu Lukaku, with Black Lives Matter, with his teammate Christian Eriksen of Inter, surviving a cardiac arrest, could have easily lost his life. Belgium is going to go 7 for 7, winning every match of the Euros. Lukaku has gematria of 77. Lukaku has gematria of 14. If Belgium wins every single match the rest of the way in regulation, the 14th win all time in the Euros for Belgium would occur in the final for Lukaku to become a serious Ballon d'Or candidate, winning the Scudetto for Inter and winning the Euro for Belgium. Now, this is the official language of the final is English because it's being held at England. Red Devils, champions and Romelu Lukaku have Gematria 44. If Belgium wins every single match in regulation, 21 points gives Belgium 44 points. Belgium is the team that's going to establish the supremacy of the European Union. Romelu Lukaku has Gematria of 161. The amount of time from the day that Brexit came into effect to the day of the Euro final is a time span of 161 days. So this tournament is surrounding around Romelu Lukaku and the supremacy of the European Union. The European Union has Gematria of golden generation when we're talking about Belgium, or if you want to interpret it as talking about England. Corona is crowned in Spanish. I talked about the crown on the Belgian coat of arms and the Belgian Federation logo. I talked about the fact that it has gold as colors, Belgium. The fact that Corona is crowned in Spanish. The fact that Roberto Martinez is a Spaniard manager for Belgium. Romelu is Gematria of 30. Corona is Gematria of 30. Enter, which he plays at, is Gematria of 30. Very interesting, because if we talk about the golden generation, golden has Gematria 57 and 30. England has Gematria 57 and 30. It's also City that has Gematria 57. When we talk about Kevin De Bruyne, when we talk about Phil Foden in the final, all very valid interpretations. Belgium all time in the Euro, it entered the competition with 7 wins and 8 losses. 7 and 8. This is a lot like the Gematria of Brexit, because Belgium is represented by the EU's meeting place, which is Brussels, the capital of Belgium. Brexit has Gematria 78. The quarterfinals for Belgium, if they finish first in the group, would win at München, to make it to the semis over at England. It is Belgium that is Gematria 33. It is Masonry that is Gematria 33. It is European Union that is Gematria of the meeting place of Brussels over at Belgium. Is this going to be a God Save the Queen moment from influence from the European Union over the affairs of England? A narrative to look out for. It's also Queen that has Gematria 62. We could be interpreting this with the British exit in the city of London, but also it's Queen that has Gematria of Chelsea, which won the Champions League, based in London, like the Queen. COVID. Devils having Gematria of 26. But this final is heavily linked with Romelu Lukaku. There's no doubt about it. Wembley Stadium, Soviet Union, the first winner of the Euro. It celebrated the 60-year anniversary of the Pan-European competition. 55 years later, England is hosting the final after it won the World Cup in the year 66. What if Brexit was a mistake? What if this is a riddle to look out for the final? What if the globalist winning is what the Euro final is about? The ability to establish supremacy. And Belgium won have Gematria 121. What if at the end of the day that the Gematria of Brexit is holding very true? What if Lukaku and Hazard and company are 3 for 3 against England? Because in the World Cup, Belgium defeated England in the group stage, and in the third place game, Belgium defeated England 2-0. So Belgium could easily go 3 for 3 against England if they are in the final. They think it's going to be going home. England could choke a 1-0 lead. They could choke the final. Now Croatia, why did England begin against Croatia? Well, Croatia lost the World Cup final. Croatia's got Gematria 67, and England could go 6 and 7. Croatia is also the Gematria of Gareth Southgate. Another reason why England drew against Croatia. Wembley, Gematria 31. How about Man City that De Bruyne plays for? Real Madrid and Hazard and Courtois, and obviously Hazard. And 61 years later, after 1960, Kevin De Bruyne can make it to the Euro final. All valid stuff. Belgium would have a 12-1 record, including the World Cup in 2018 with this year's edition of the Euro. All very valid. I'd like to go see what the record is for Roberto Martinez. So very easy. We see the meaning of 44 points in Romelu Lukaku. The biggest evidence is the fact that Romelu Estimacha is 77. Lukaku Estimacha is 77. This is by far one of the biggest ones. And the fact that the Estimacha of Romelu Lukaku is linked with the amount of days to the Euro final makes these very valid points from the time that England left the EU. This is about supremacy of the EU. And same thing with the City of London, England having Estimacha of 185. The City of London, Lukaku 7 for 7 there. The EU's going to establish supremacy. That's the amount of time from Hazard's birthday to the day of the UEFA Champions League final. All very valid. 59 days from Lukaku's birthday to the final. This is the Estimacha of London, England. This is the Estimacha of the Red Devils. Everything's just all pieced together. Harry Kane's birthday of July the 28th, this would be 17 days. Maybe you have to wait until the 17th Euros, England. Maybe this wasn't the year. 23-day numerology, 11, 7, and 5 of 2021 is 23. That's the amount of points that Belgium entering the Euros this year. 21 years later would be the next final for Belgium. It's the Devils. That's got Estimacha of 41. The 11th team is going to win the Euro final if this is the case. The Pan-European competition is being held at 11 cities, at 11 countries. If we look at the losses for England, this is where loss number 11 is going to be key. The final's being played on the 11th day. The 11th team is going to win the final. This is where we have the ritual sacrifice of the Lions in the final. Lions is Estimacha of 24. Belgium began the campaign at Russia. It's losers. That's Estimacha of 69-24. We're talking about the three Lions of England. The three lions in the crown on the coat of arms of Belgium, as I talked about before. When we go to Belgium, right, they have the trophy. All three crosses will be slayed in the final. When we go to the country of Belgium, you're going to be very clear seeing the coat of arms. The British national team is the three lions. We see the crown right there, that they're going to be crowned champions against the three lions. This is what the coat of arms is all about. So I think these are very easily valid interpretations. The first Euro title in the 16th edition of the Euro is very clear. This is mostly centered around Romelu Lukaku. Gareth Southgate choked in the 1996 Euros. Let's take a look at the 1996 Euros, because when you're talking about the Euros, it's been held at Wembley before, but it certainly wasn't England that won. In fact, they lost in penalties to Germany. They lost on the 26th day. What if they lose to the Devils, because 26 is the Estimacha of Devils? Gareth Southgate missed the penalty on that day. What if it's Kevin De Bruyne that's going to beat them? Because Kevin is Estimacha of 25. So Belgium have 14 wins. If they're in the World Cup and they won 20 games, they would enter the Euro final with 33 wins. 19 losses and 8 is 27. Euro 2020 is Estimacha of 27. Crown is Estimacha of 28. But this is the golden generation. If you go to England, 29 wins in the World Cup and 11 in the European competition. Could end at 44 possibly, or at 45. Something to look out for. 10 losses in the Euro. 19 in the World Cup. Their 30th loss could happen to the golden generation of Belgium at England in Corona Crown, which is Gematria 30. We saw France lose as the host in 2016. What if this is a back-to-back right now? We could see France, losing as hosts, and you see London in the equation. Something very valid to look out for. All three crosses Belgium could defeat. The cross on the English flag, the cross on the Finnish flag, the cross on the Danish flag. Very strong symbology with the cross. Lukaku's Catholic. This is a Jesuit year. England is a Protestant country. It is Jesuit that's got Gematria 21. Not good if you're a Protestant country like England in the year 21. Think about it. Joe Biden is the president, but the Jesuits don't have much influence over England like they do in, let's say, Italy or Spain or Portugal and France, and to a degree, Germany, kind of split between Germany. But you see Belgium there, they got the cross of Denmark and the cross of Finland. This could be a moment when Kevin De Bruyne goes 6 for 6 in his matches. De Bruyne, wins with the 16, can win his 16th trophy in the 16th edition of the Euros. This is not looking too good for England there. It's looking better for Belgium. This is all year. Sorry, not everyone can beat the golden generation. It's too bad. Crown's Gematria 28. Gematria is going to be a trap in some way. You're going to say, oh, London's Gematria 29. They're going to lose in the final. Belgium, but I got to be careful about that. 14 in Lukaku. Big narrative with Lukaku. The 34th win for Belgium in the World Cup and the Euros can happen against Harry Kane. Something to think about. Or the fact that Ronaldo won the last Euro. The 79 of Ronaldo, the Gematria of champion, this is where you're getting Gareth Southgate on steroids. This is among the biggest clues of evidence that we see right here. The 79th loss, the Gematria of Brexit, and 78 losses. The 79th loss is going to occur in the final for Southgate against the champion. Once again, Brexit is Gematria of 78. European Union and the globalists are supreme over England and your queen. These are the facts. Globalists win. The New World Order always gets what it wants despite where your country is at. Southgate choked at Wembley, he chokes again. This is 21-3 day, June 26 of 1996. Southgate choked the penalty. It was 1-1. 11th team to win the Euro. Southgate's going to choke again. What was England's record for that tournament? 2-1-0, 2-1-0, 2-2-0, 2-3-0. Looks highly good for Belgium. But most of all, if you remember the phrase, the city of London, 7 for 7, the Gematria of Romelu Lukaku. Euro winner has Gematria of Kevin, But that's not the main one I'm looking for. This isn't the main one I'm looking for. Let me get back to it. I think I lost it. Belgium won Euro 2021. And the date range from Eden Hazard's birthday to the day of the Euro final, 185. Belgium won Euro 2021. City of London, England. Or City of London. Gematria 185 and 77. Revelation. The European Union is going to be supreme. No doubt about it. This is a PSYOP script. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's a mocking. It's a grand mocking. It's coming home. Gematria 69. European Union. God save the Queen. No. No. The globalists will win. We know that for sure. There's no doubt about it.